Hello again, everybody. I'm Josh Bean from AL.com. I'm here with Jeff Sentell. Jeff, we're here to talk about the Mr. Football race. We think we've really got three super candidates this year. Madison Academy's Kerryon Johnson, Marius Henderson from Dale County, and Ty Pigrome from Clay Chalkville. Let's talk about them all three individually. First, let's talk about Pigrome. You saw him a lot this year. What did you think of his season? What do you think of his candidacy?
Well, there's two things I think about when I make my Mr. Football vote. Have I seen this before, and what was the degree of difficulty? Ty Pigrome amassing 61 total touchdowns in Class 6A football and his extreme degree of difficulty. We haven't seen that before, and here's the kicker. We wondered if he was the best player on the team or not. When the all-time leading rusher in Clay Chalkville history goes down with an injury, what does he do? He soars 5 touchdowns per game in the postseason.
Won the 6A championship, scored the winning touchdown, only a junior. Do you think him being a junior hurts his candidacy?
I think he hurts him a little bit compared to his competition. We've got some guys with, back-to-back tremendous years. In Kerryon Johnson's case, he's got 4 great years to look at. When you start breaking down Kerryon Johnson, you think a little bit about career achievement, but then you got to remember he's probably been the best player in 3A for the last 4 years.
You mentioned Kerryon Johnson won another state championship this year. That's the last 3 that he's led his team to. He did not rush for yards this year, but we also have to remember he split carries with Malik Miller, and he averaged way over 10 yards a carry this year. What do you think of his candidacy?
I like his candidacy a lot. He's career achievement, but he's also tremendous.
Yes.
If you had to ask coaches in 3A who was the most scary player on both sides of the ball this year, I think a lot of them would probably say Kerryon.
And the truth is with Kerryon Johnson, he's a great, amazing kick returner. Just nobody kicked to him this year. He didn't return any for a touchdown, mostly because people were so afraid of it. He was a great weapon in the field position, even when he didn't touch the ball.
I think, and then if you look at it from a recruiting and talent standpoint, if he was a pure safety, he would probably be the best safety, maybe the top safety in Alabama, maybe the top prospect in Alabama as a safety. But the same goes to the offensive side of the ball, where he'll likely start out at Auburn. The thing that I love about Kerryon Johnson's work is he has 12 touchdowns in the Super 6 and Super 7 during 4 years of football. That's the big stage. That's when everybody's game planning against him, and he's shining.
Yeah, and let's be honest. There were a couple of those touchdowns this year, Jeff, where frankly he looked kind of bored out there when he scored.
Yeah.
Now, the third guy is Marius Henderson. He was the 3A back of the year last year. It wasn't Kerryon Johnson because he had the injury-plagued junior season. Set the state record this year with more than 3,400 yards rushing. He's uncommitted, unlike Kerryon Johnson. We don't know where he's going to go to school. What do you make of Jamarius Henderson's candidacy?
I think you've got to decide what type of voter you are when you look at Jamarius Henderson. You got to think, do I value all these unsightly, massive numbers in 3A? Do you place a degree of difficulty on that, or do you say I can't judge the kid? I'm just going to judge him on what the games he had to play, the teams that were scheduled. I think most people, when they vote, they're going to look at, is this kid better than Kerryon Johnson? There was the face-off in the Class 3A state title game. Kerryon Johnson and his team came out ahead of Jamarius Henderson, and I don't think we saw that in my voting eyes. I don't think we saw that still 312-yard, 15-tackle performance in a losing effort that would have really impressed me.
But about Jamarius Henderson, he did have more than 150 tackles. He did play middle linebacker, much like Kerryon Johnson. He was a two-way star for his team. I think that will go a long way. When you take all this, you put it all together. When we see the announcement, who do you expect to get the big trophy?
That's a tough call, because I think me and you were shooting the breeze earlier today, and we kind of thought this is the best 3-man race we've seen in a while.
Yes.
Maybe Jameis Winston and T.J. Yeldon a couple years back was maybe a tighter 2-man group.
That's right.
But I think when everything's said and done, I think they're either going to choose Pigrome or they're going to choose Kerryon Johnson. And I would think if I had to take a heat check of the room and the voters, I would probably lean towards the Madison Academy standout.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to see what happens with this. As Jeff said, this is such a tight race. We have 3 fantastic candidates. I don't think the voters can go wrong, whomever's picked, but it'll be exciting to see who is named this year's Mr. Football. You can follow all of our coverage at AL.com or AL.com/high school. Thanks for watching.